run the risk, oftentimes, of looking like, not bringing anything up again, but the whack job
Well, we
conspiracy
don't care.
theorists.
I mean, I don't care. If somebody can come up and call us, we've been spit on, we've been attacked, we've been, called names. It doesn't really matter to us.
Somebody's
So
got to say it. I mean, we can prove that it was controlled demolition. Now that we can prove it's controlled demolition,
How are you going to do that?
Okay. The latest thing to come out, all right.
Nanothermite.
Nanothermite. Before that, they found iron-rich microspheres. Since you've been in the Marines and whatnot, you know what thermite is, right?
Yes.
Okay. They find these iron-rich microspheres. That's a product of a thermite reaction.
Okay.
That's all throughout the dust in the World Trade Center. Not only did they find that, but recently they've come out with a peer-reviewed paper that they found evidence of what's called nanothermite, which is put together from molecular level nanotechnology. Right?
So why use such high technology with the Pentagon as opposed?
He's talking about the World. He's talking about the World Trade.
Oh, the World Trade Center. Okay.
If we prove the World Trade Center to the Pentagon is superfluous because you prove controlled demolition with the World Trade Center. That
So
means it's all engineered.
why didn't we finish the job? Not we, excuse me. I don't want to categorize myself with these people.
So we can prove it's a controlled demolition. So then you got to ask yourself, well, who's able to get into those buildings, with that kind of access? Who's able to slip in there?
Why wasn't it done better?
What's that?
It was done very well. It was done very well. The only way it could have been done better is if they did a sloppier job and had it fall oddly. They did it too well. They did it so well that it had to be controlled demolition, and that's what they didn't think about.
Yeah. Well, besides all the monetary waste that is happening, there is, on the base Al Assad, which is where I was initially stationed, which is a huge base, the size, I'd say it's about 7 miles by 30 miles. It was, Al Assad means the line. It was Saddam's supposedly perfect Air Force base that could not be attacked. He spent billions creating it. Ditches all around it with bulldozers, so it couldn't be attacked. Okay. So once we overran it, this place now, where you would think we're over there, and the common media perception is that we're over there doing something good. You can go any night and see Army taking water aerobics, which they're going to tell you that's for R&R. There's water aerobics going on. There is Pizza Hut over there. There is, there's very little war being fought. There is money being spent and money being made.
So, I guess, from your knowledge, how did at least most of the people you know and you knew in the military still know how did they feel about just Iraq and Afghanistan or just the entire war on terror in general? Because Ron Paul actually got the most military contributions than any other candidate. So, just from your perspective, did you see that sort of trend, people just being sick and tired of it?
Absolutely.
We just want out.
The only reason that I can't speak so much for the Army, but for the Marines, the only reason they want to go over there is for the money, because you get paid more than double. Yeah, and they have families to support. Most of them, are high school grads, don't have a lot of cash. They know they're not going to be in a lot of danger. That's the only reason they want to go over there. They're not going over there to defend the country.
So, from your perspective,
because there is no defense of the country happening over there.
And one of the reasons we're out here about 9/11 is we're worried that, what if they set off weapons of mass destruction in the United States? I mean, if they're willing to do 9/11 and blow a big hole in the middle of New York, what else are they willing to do? These military contractors or these defense contractors, are they loyal to the United States? These guys should be brought up for treason.
No, they are not. And I will give you an example. We would have to check out these contractors because they didn't have clearances. Some were American, some were just Iraqis who worked on our base and would leave base after work and live in their hut. And we would search randomly their vehicles when they came on in person. And you would be blown away by how they would bring, they weren't allowed to bring cell phones on the base because they could communicate, intel off of base. They would hide them in their air filters of their vehicles. They would hide them in any place you could imagine to get intel off of U.S. bases.
So this is something you've seen firsthand?
Absolutely, yeah.
there was a caller that called into a radio show. She got back from Iraq. She was in IT. She said that the contractors, the foreigners, were actually shelling the base, one of the bases that she was at.
Oh yeah, that happens. I'll leave you with one last thought, and this is firsthand experience. There's an MOS, which basically means a job in the Marine Corps, called counterintelligence. And if you're in a counterintelligence, you are not an officer, and you are very high up. You don't have to wear correct rank. You can do just about anything you want. You have your own translator, interpreter walking around with you at all times. You don't answer to anyone below the rank of colonel. Okay. I was told that if I found a particular type of weapon within vehicles, to report directly to this individual, this counterintelligence individual.
Can you explain the type of weapon it was?
Yes, they were AK-47s, but they weren't your standard, normal, dirty AK-47s. They were brand spanking new. Okay.
Russian made?
I'm not sure. But they were brand spanking new, so I got on the radio with him. He got out there immediately, which meant a 10-minute trek from where he was on his little base to where I was outside the wire with my people. And once he got out there, he had us line up all of the Iraqis that were with him. Well, I can't say Iraqis, but Middle Eastern people, and ask where they had gotten these weapons from. And they refused to divulge the information. So bags were placed over their heads. It was 5 of them. And basically, to make a long story short, there was a lot of screaming saying, "Tell us where it is, tell us where it is, tell us where you got the weapons." And once they refused, a gunshot was fired into the air, and a Middle Eastern gentleman was punched in the stomach and pushed down a hill to simulate for the others the fact that one of their buddies had died, so that they would start talking.
Did they talk?
They talked, whether or not it was true, whether it was to save their life,